Hey, what's going on YouTube? Got a quick one here for you today. This is a 99 Mercury Cougar. We are talking about the AC system today. We're doing a performance mod, doing an AC delete. And we're going to be talking about the benefits of doing that, the side effects of doing that, and hopefully just give you a little bit more information so you kind of have an idea. Now, this isn't necessarily going to pertain to every single vehicle. Some AC systems are going to weigh more than others, but this is a small, compact, V6, automatic, bare bones basic what you're looking at if you go to delete the AC system. So I've already pulled out the condenser, the AC lines. They are all gone. AC compressor I just barely pulled out today, and then installed a belt, which if you guys want the part number for that, for this Cougar, this is what you're looking at. 62 7/8 inch belt. This is a 6-rib belt, meaning these high spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ribs. That's the part number from Gates for the belt that you need to delete the AC on these. Overall, here we got the AC compressor. This is sitting on Infinicon Waytech. This is actually a refrigerant scale. This is crazy accurate. I went as far as to measure every single bolt, every single heat shield, every single nut to try to see how much weight we would actually save by deleting this AC system. Now, 15 pounds is all that compressor and all of its hardware actually weighs. The refrigerant, I believe the charge is something almost close to 2 pounds, 1.8 pounds, something like that. So not a whole lot there altogether. We are just under 30 pounds weight savings, which isn't a whole lot. Now it is going to make a difference in handling because all of this weight is on the front end of this car. These cars are notoriously light in the back, as are most front-wheel drive cars. Not much weight in the back of these things, so any weight you can pull off the front is going to give you a better weight distribution, but at the end of the day, it's only 30 pounds that you're saving. So in order to put that into a better perspective for you as far as effort and time put into this, typically this doesn't cost much. I do recommend that you get the AC system evacuated, get all the refrigerant pulled out before you tear this apart. If there's no refrigerant in the system, just like this one was, you don't even have to worry about that. Just pull it all out, throw it all away, find a belt that's going to work for you, or modify. You know, there's a couple of different ways. I've also got a video on a 2002 Mustang that we did an AC delete, and then also I don't remember what year it was, but it was a Dodge Charger, the newer body style, but it had the V6. We did an AC delete on that one for a customer, which was basically just putting a different belt on it was all that it took. But anyways, 30 pounds. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the horsepower to weight ratio. I'm going to show you the calculation for that. You are welcome to Google this. It will pull up results, but the way that it's taught and the way that they run the number, in my mind, is absolute garbage. I was actually taught this in college, so I'm going to actually show you this formula here. So this weight is what I got from factory specifications from Google. This is what their curb weight was, 28.92 from the factory. Now we have lost a little bit due to rust, and this one's missing a spare tire and jack and the tool kit, and I believe those are somewhere north of 30 or 40 pounds, but for today's, we're just going to go off of this number right here. So I was able to get dyno readings. This seemed to be about the average number for a stock V6 Mercury Cougar of about this year, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the weight and we're going to divide that by the horsepower. Now, when you look this up on Google, it's actually going to be inverted. They're going to divide 135 by 28.92, and what that's going to give you is a crazy long decimal that, well, doesn't really mean anything to anybody, because that's how much horsepower per pound, or sorry, how many pounds, I think I've got that backwards, or how much horsepower per pound. And so it's very difficult to understand, but if you flip the numbers and divide it the other way, this will actually give you your horsepower to weight ratio. And of course, oh, there's my marker. So that's 21.42 pounds, and I'll go ahead and write that just to keep you guys. 21.42 pounds per 1 horsepower. So 1 horsepower has to haul 21.42 pounds factory. Okay? That is lbs pounds to horsepower ratio. Okay, so by deleting the AC system, we're going to knock 30 pounds off. Easy math, 2862 divided by that same number, 135 horsepower. Gives us 21.2 pounds per horsepower. And we're going to do this again just to make this, keep this simple. So this is the weight ratio originally. This is the new one. So what we've done is we have reduced 0.22 pounds, 0.22, which is, hang on here, nearly a fourth of a pound. So about 4 ounces per pound, or sorry, 4 ounces per horsepower is what we're increased. Now, you're not really going to see a huge difference with this in any way, shape, or form, just simply by deleting the AC system. So it depends on what you're doing with this car. If this is a performance car, you know, a race car that goes to the track, or it doesn't go to the track, it's just, you know, a run around, beat around car that you don't care about, reselling the car. Sure, yeah, absolutely, go for this. Delete the AC system. But if this is anything that has any kind of value, as in my wife's 2013 G37X, that's still a $15,000 or $16,000 car. There's no way I'm going to delete an AC system on that. That is going to exponentially reduce the value of that car. Whereas this was an $800 car, I'd be lucky to get $1,000, maybe $2,000 out of it. Now, granted, yes, the current economy, the way that the used car market is, I could very well list this for $5,000 or $6,000, sit on it for 3 or 4 months, and I might get it. But at the end of the day, it's not actually worth a whole lot. When I got it, it was basically fit for the scrapyard. I didn't take a whole lot. I think I'm into this thing about $900 at this point, about $1,600 total. But it's been a good, reliable little car. Buzzes me into town, decent amount of power. But overall, not a huge performance gain that you're going to see simply by deleting the AC system. Now, will this help? Yes, 4 ounces per pound, that will make a difference in quarter-mile times. That will make a difference going around corners. The other benefit that I haven't mentioned yet is that we're also going to be running a shorter belt. So that drive belt that I've got sitting over there, and I apologize, this place is a mess. I need to clean it all out, probably basically throw half of this away. But you will run about a 10-inch shorter belt than what it originally had. So less belt, less that it has to drag around, less parasitic losses, and even that AC compressor, just spinning it, even without the compressor engaged, even though it spins pretty easily, which, of course, this is sitting on the scale, and I don't want to disrupt it, but basically these spin over very, very easily. There's got good bearings in it. They spin over easy. There's not a lot of resistance, but you will see some improvement in low-end acceleration by doing this. The next big thing that you could do that's fairly cheap is to actually get rid of that automatic tensioner. And let me see if I've got my flashlight here somewhere close. I can show you. So this one, as most modern cars have, right there, that guy, that is a spring-loaded tensioner, okay? Now that is a giant spring that's going to adjust pressure on that belt. So as you accelerate the engine, if you can see this or watch it, depending on what vehicle it's on, you will actually notice that as you accelerate, that spring is actually going to ramp up. It's going to pull away because the crankshaft is pulling so hard, so fast, it is actually pulling more belt than what's available. And so that will actually apply more pressure, more spring pressure to slow the engine down. Now this is a very simple performance mod. Hopefully I'll get around to doing it. But what you'll do is you'll actually delete that tensioner. And I did this on the Mustang, so if you guys want to go watch that video, you can see how I changed the bracket on the alternator to make a factory, or sorry, to make an old school, basically tension mount. So basically you pull it tight and then you torque it down to hold it into place. Now, there is a trick to it, but overall, that will actually save you a ton of power and will rapidly increase the acceleration acceleration rate of any car, meaning you'll get off the line faster, it'll take off quicker, it will move faster. And with the Mustang, it was more than worth it. Absolutely worth it. With the AC delete, the weight that came off of it, and that manual tensioner, it actually did help the acceleration to such an extent that even though all of my AC components were still A-OK on that, I ended up discarding them, throwing them away, because I was so impressed with the amount of performance, the amount of acceleration that it did increase. But overall, you're not going to see a whole lot. It will devalue the vehicle. So if it's something newer, again, I don't recommend it. But if it is, you know, a cheap beater, throwaway car, race car, parts getter, who cares? Get your kid to school. AC doesn't work anyways. it can be done, and there are performance gains to be had. As we mentioned, with a shorter belt and a little bit less weight on the front end, it's going to balance the weight ratio out. So if this is the front and this is the back of the car, it will kind of even out. What you're looking for is about a 50-50 weight distribution. There are a number of cars out there in the world that do have that from the factory, Miatas, Mazda RX-7s. I believe the Corvettes are somewhere there close, but this one is significantly front heavy on these, especially because it has a cast iron block, big, heavy V6 in it. But overall, pretty fun little car. Hopefully that kind of helps you guys out a little bit. But before you guys take off on me, I want to show you this last classification. So instead of doing this, if you were to go a different route, keep the AC system because it's a nice car. And let's say we're going to do headers and a performance exhaust system. Overall, dyno proven, especially on a G37 or a G35, 20 to 25-ish horsepower with headers, exhaust, and you can debate me on those exact horsepower numbers, but basically what you'll do by doing that, so we're going to take the same car to keep this relevant. So we're going to keep the AC system on it. So this is our new weight ratio. Okay, so we're back up to the factory horsepower. Yes, we are going to lose a couple of pounds by going to headers and deleting, cast iron exhaust manifolds and heavy catalytic converters. But what we're going to end up doing is adding 20 horsepower by doing an exhaust system and headers. And what's going to happen is we got 2,892 divided by 155 horsepower. That's going to give us a pound or weight to horsepower ratio of 18.65 to 1. Now, when you look at our original number, 24.42, that's almost 3 pounds. That's 2.8 some, or 2.72 pounds that we have lost per horsepower. That's going to be a noticeable improvement. That's going to be something that you put your foot down and you go, oh, wow, yes, that's much better. That's a bigger performance increase. Now, if we were to do both of these, however, and continue that down, I shouldn't have to recalculate that. I should be able to just add up the performance gains of reducing 30 pounds, which would be 0.22 pounds or approximately yes, that would be 4 ounces of weight. That would also put us back down here. Change that to a 4 and a 3. Minus 22 from it. 18.43 to 1, which is going to be even better, even faster. But overall, do your homework, figure out what you want to do with the car before you do an AC delete system. But this is kind of what you're looking at as far as, and sorry, ignore all of that. Those are just bills that I write down to help remind me to pay them. But anyways, hopefully this helps you guys out. This video went way longer than I was expecting. Have a great day, you guys, and keep making cars fast.